HBK. I was in between coaching sessions. I'm coaching a couple of different people, and so we're, charging into race season. And a couple of these athletes have races coming up, like this week, next week. And I wanted to throw out a thought. There's this old adage that the hay is in the barn a week or 2 or 3 weeks before a race, really 2 weeks before a race. That adage is often said saying, you can't do anything now to improve your race, and etc. And, it's probably 75% true. Hopefully you have managed stress and, specifically with the workouts, the longest workouts, those 2 or 3 weeks of when the volume is really high. Hopefully you've really focused on those and nailed those and really kind of solidified things. That's what they're talking about. Those particular weeks with, all the foundation stuff behind it, that's the hay that they're talking about. But there's a couple of different things that go on, when you're rolling into taper, and there's a couple of other things to be said, and I hope that we don't throw this hay is in the barn and kind of give us permission just to do whatever and not continue driving towards the race. Yeah, you're not doing heavy volume and you're not doing this and that, but you're also not just taking a time just to slack off and not do anything. So the way I coach people, the intensity of the workouts go up after the volume goes down. We still strength train. With the higher intensity, your anaerobic system continues to improve during those 2 weeks, during the whole time leading into the race. So that's why the intensity goes up. Your aerobic system takes weeks, months, years to kind of get itself primed up, and this is where the endurance piece comes in. But you can make changes to the anaerobic system a lot faster. So in those weeks you can fine-tune, freshens things up. That's why the intensity goes up. Bubble wrap is needed when you're rolling into a race, right? So you need to be really mindful about what you're doing and still continue to train like you're racing. Be smart and diligent about it. A lot of times people go into those last 2 or 3 weeks during taper and they're kind of, not really paying attention. Or just mystery things happen, like you're running down the street and you trip on something. So, the old adage, bubble wrap. That stuff happens all the time. It's kind of funny. I know in my own experience, a lot of the times it's not the training that got me injured on race day. It was something mysterious that happened. Like I went into to Wisconsin Ironman in 2016 with a broken toe because I was chasing the dog and I stubbed it on a butter churn. Anyway, so the hay isn't all in the barn yet, is what I'm trying to say. There's another very large component. And so I said, 75% true on the hay is in the barn. And this 75% might be a little high to give enough credit to this next thing that I want to talk about. And it's attitude. It's your mental grit, but it's really your attitude towards things. You can go into a race, you can be super duper prepared, and you can go into a race and you can perform like crap. You can DNF. So all that hay in the barn, and if, something happens, stress, whatever, and your attitude is just in the tank. So on the flip side of it, if your training has been kind of hit and miss and your attitude is really good, your attitude, your mental strength can make up for more than 25% of race day success. How you define that? More than 25%. Story, that same Ironman Wisconsin in 2016, I did not want to go. I did not want to do that race. I wanted to drive the opposite direction. I did not want to drive north. There was a lot of different things going on for me at that time. Training-wise, I didn't hit all of my training sessions. There was a lot of personal stuff going on, and I just didn't want to do it. I had, it wasn't an effort mentality. It was just I'm overloaded. I have too much stuff going on, and I don't want to go to a race and just suck the whole time to suck the whole time. So, just in transparency and honesty, but I did decide something that I do throughout life is I never quit. I really try to always remember I don't quit. Don't ever quit. No quitting ever. And most of the time it serves me well. Sometimes maybe it doesn't, but in general, so I fell on that. Don't quit. Do not give up. And the other thing is, dude, you put it on the calendar, you signed up, you paid money for it. You need to show up, and you need to put up, and you need to stop belly aching, and you need to stop stressing about this and that and that and this, okay? And stop thinking about your life is so bad, and stop thinking about how all of this stuff is blah, 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 blah. You just put all of that stuff on the back burner. 3 things. You don't ever quit, ever. No quitting ever. Never ever quit. Number 2, if you put it on the calendar, you need to show up. Okay? You show up, you put up, and you stop whining, and you stop complaining. And the 3rd one, you just go and you do the best that you can. And so this is where the mental grit, probably the biggest lesson in endurance racing and half Ironman, Ironman, is you do the best that you can given the entire situation. So what if I kind of blew off my training for X, Y, and Z? It is what it is. You get to race day and you do the best that you can. And so that means that when you're biking and it is tough, you don't stop pushing. You don't give in just a little bit. I can't make it. Give in. I can't do this. Give in. A lot of the times that I can't is a lie. It's mentally, you're just a little bit weak, and you're letting your mind dictate what you can do, where if you were to just silence that voice for just a second and ignore it and just keep pushing and just keep pushing and do your nutrition right and do everything that you know you need to be doing, and you just keep doing it. You say to yourself over and over, at Ironman Texas in 18, it was a tough race. I was dating a non-triathlete, and I didn't do all my volume. I know how to get an Ironman done, but I had consciously made a decision I wasn't going to do all of the volume. I did a good chunk of it, so I was mostly prepared, 75% prepared. But I went into that race saying, I'm going to do the very best that I can. I'm going to do I'm going to try to do better than what I think that I can do based on my training. And that's why I'm saying, is it 75% and 25% mental? Or does the mental skills, the grit, and the attitude, is it more than 25%? I think so. At Ironman Texas on that bike, I was saying, don't give in, don't give up for 112 miles on the bike ride. Don't give in, don't give up. Hold the pace, hold the pace, hold the pace. And I did. I was astonished. I did. And it was a beautiful experience, and it still stays with me. When I went to Ironman Wisconsin, and I've got my mind right, like right in front of the race. And I got out of the swim, and I had like the best swim ever. It was a tough swim, but you know what? I conquered some demons that day, and this sounds funny, but I had the best swim picture ever. I printed it out really big on canvas, and it reminds me that the mental strength, the grit, attitude is almost everything. Yes, you need to go into these races prepared. You need to know how to handle your nutrition, but mental strength, not giving in to the toughness, not giving in to the day, not giving in to Mother Nature. You need to give her heck. She's giving you heck. But it's that mental wanna quit and self-doubt. And you can't let it creep in. You've got to tell yourself, I'm going to do the very best that I can. I don't know what that's going to be. You're going to do the best that you can. You have no idea what that is. It might be so much more than what you thought it could be. You've got to you've got to focus on the faith and into really just giving everything that you have to the potential that do the best that you can. You have no idea what that is. Each time you show up, it's going to be different. Do the best that you can. Miracles happen. Beautiful things happen. You do better than what you thought you ever could. So mental toughness, attitude is so much more than the hay. So question the hay is in the barn. You can get your mind right 5 minutes before the race. You can get your mind right every minute of the race. You'll need to. Okay? So anyway, thoughts on race day preparation. Have a good day, guys. Namaste.